everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From BA to Broadway, your premier showbiz education podcast. You know who it is. It's me, your host, Mr. Brennan Stefanik, and I'm bringing you those general programming reminders. Folks, every Monday we are here with our main episodes, and every Friday we are here with our mini-series, In the Spotlight. Oh, and would you look at that? Today is indeed Friday. I am not here alone. I could never do this alone. I am, of course, here with our Broadway historian, Mr. Daniel J. Solly. Danny, what is going on? Once again, got it on your computer.
My LaCroix coming in with the beach plum today.
Beach plum?
Mm-hmm.
What makes it a beach plum?
I think you're supposed to enjoy it on the beach.
It's wearing a bikini.
Don't look at my can of LaCroix like that.
I'm sorry if
You
I
sick
objectified
freak.
your LaCroix. Folks, if you can't tell, I'm a little stuffy. I've been a sick boy these past couple days. So don't mind me.
And folks, if you can't tell, I am so healthy.
The epitome of health.
The epitome of health and wellness.
Glowing.
I can't wait for next week when you're healthy and I'm like dying.
I really hope you don't
whatever
get this. It really kicked my butt.
It did.
Yeah. Danny, what are we talking about this week?
Oh, why don't I show you?
Why don't you show me?
5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow. Heard.
We're talking about a chorus line today.
A chorus line. A classic. Very good. Very
Classic.
good.
Do you know it?
I do know it.
Did you know what that was when I played that?
I did, yes.
I thought it was a little anticlimactic. I'm not gonna lie. I
I'm
recognize that.
No,
But-
it's okay.
You know,
Dancers, this one's for you.
it's dancers. This is for you.
Yeah,
A chorus line.
a chorus line.
It's a musical
So true.
conceived by Michael Bennett with music by Marvin Hamlish, lyrics by Edward Cleban, book by James Kirkwood Jr. and Nicholas Dante. Chorus line's a tricky one. I don't know why I said it was tricky.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
What's so tricky
It's
about
not like I'll just describe it.
it?
So
Gave up immediately.
that's enough out of me.
Okay.
Because it's not okay. So chorus line, the show is basically set on the bare stage of a Broadway theater, and it's centered around 17 Broadway dancers who are auditioning for spots on a chorus line.
Whoa.
On, to be the ensemble of a dance show. And so the show provides a glimpse into the personalities of the performers and the choreographer as they describe the events that have shaped their lives and their decisions to become dancers. So essentially the conceit of the show is that a director is holding auditions for the ensemble members of his show. And basically throughout this audition process that the audience is watching, the dancers all kind of step out of the line and tell their story. And we're getting glimpses into their personal lives, into growing up, what made them become dancers.
Whoa.
So basically, I'm going to run down the cast list.
Run it down,
and,
baby.
Just tell you a little bit about each character. Because it's not like they went to this place and did this thing kind of a plot.
Yeah.
It's like they're all standing on a literal chorus line. They step out and they have their moment.
Indeed.
And so we have Zach, who is the successful director who's running the audition. And we have Larry, who is Zach's assistant. And then we have all of the auditioning dancers. And so we have Don, who is a married man who once worked in a strip club. We have Maggie Winslow, who is a sweet woman who grew up in a broken home. Mike Costa is an aggressive dancer who learned to tap at an early age. Connie Wong is a petite Chinese American who seems ageless. Greg Gardner is a sassy Jewish gay man who divulges his first experiences with a woman. Cassie Ferguson is a once successful solo dancer down on her luck and a former lover of Zach's. Sheila Bryant is a sassy, sexy aging dancer who tells of her unhappy childhood. Bobby Mills is Sheila's best friend who jokes about his conservative upbringing in Buffalo, New York. Bibi Benzheimer is a younger dancer who only feels beautiful when she dances. Same. Judy Turner is a tall, gawky, and quirky dancer. You're supposed to say same.
I'm not a dancer.
That's why you're a tall, gawky, and quirky dancer.
I'm tall, gawky, and quirky. That's where it ends.
Richie Walters is an enthusiastic black man who once planned to be a kindergarten teacher. Al DeLuca is an Italian-American who takes care of his wife. Also same. Christine is Al's scatterbrained wife who can't sing. Val is a foul-mouthed but excellent dancer who couldn't get performing jobs because of her looks until she had plastic surgery, aka a boob job. Mark Anthony is the youngest dancer who recounts the time he told his priest he thought he had gonorrhea. Paul San Marco is a gay Puerto Rican who dropped out of high school and survived a troubled childhood. He has like a 5-page long iconic monologue, one of the most famous moments of the show. And Diana Morales is Paul's friend, another Puerto Rican who is underestimated by all of her teachers growing up. And so those are all of the characters that we get to know throughout the course of the show.
The chorus of the show.
And so then at the end of the show, 8 dancers are selected to join the chorus line.
Very true.
And they are Mike, Cassie, Bobby, Judy, Richie, Val, Mark, and Diana. Fun fact, during the workshop of the show, random characters would be chosen at the end for the chorus jobs based on their performance quality, resulting in a different quote-unquote cast being selected at every performance. But the costumers objected to this ending, citing the stress of having to change random actors in time for the finale. So this resulted in that ending bit being cut in exchange for the same set of characters being cast.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they all change costumes anyways?
I think they do, but I think it's like the song one starts with the people who are cast.
Understood.
And so I think maybe it was just like a technicality of like, we don't know of these 17 people which 8 we need to change, and it's chaotic as fuck. Also, I think all the original endings had... So Cassie is kind of the main... It's a very ensemble show.
Yeah.
Cassie is like the lead almost.
For sure.
She's got a lot of meat. She's got a huge dance number. And I think in the original ending, she was not selected. And due to audiences were not liking the ending of the show and they couldn't figure out why. And when they put Cassie in the final like cast, people started liking it.
Interesting.
So that was kind of the original conceit. And the show is actually, the origins are fascinating. So it was formed through several taped workshop sessions with Broadway dancers, including 8 of them who eventually appeared in the original cast. And so the sessions were originally hosted by 2 dancers, Michonne Peacock and Tony Stevens, with the first of these sessions taking place in January of 1974. So their original hope was that they would form a professional dance company and make workshops for Broadway dancers. However, Michael Bennett was invited to join as an observer, but quickly took control of the group. And so these sessions were basically a bunch of Broadway dancers sitting around in a room together, super informal and casual. They were all, coworkers and friends and whatnot. And they were telling their stories. Like they were telling their personal stories of their childhood, their lives, their professional lives, how they came to be dancers, what dance means to them, what the profession means to them, audition stories. And Michael Bennett was sitting there and said, this is a show. Like, this is a show that we need to tell. In a way to humanize dancers. And it's so fascinating because at the end of the show, the ones who are selected and then eventually the whole cast, they perform the song called One, which is a very famous song. Yep. And they're all, at the end of the show, they're all wearing the same exact costume head to toe, doing the same exact, very specific choreography to the song. And it's kind of this idea that like we just spent, 2 hours learning the interpersonal lives of all of these people, and all of a sudden, when it's actually time to perform their quote unquote show, they are just like indistinguishable from one another. And that is the goal, I guess, where it's like, oh, I actually don't know who's who anymore. Just like fascinating. And so it started as this like informal get together of people who know people, and that turned into a chorus line.
Yeah.
And so the original production opened off-Broadway at the Public Theater in April of 1975.
The Public Theater?
Oh my God, the Public Theater. What you may ask? What?
That was just a very natural sounding transition.
uh, so-
Hey, Danny, what's the public theater?
Hey, Brennan, I'm so glad you asked. So the public theater, I feel like I'm saying it so much it's losing its meaning.
Yeah.
The public theater is an off-Broadway house that is downtown in the East Village. It is I was going to call it a not-for-profit theater, but I'm going to be so for real, I don't know if it's not-for-profit. And it's an incredible theater that houses musicals and plays.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's where like some of the most famous Broadway shows have started. Like
Yeah.
Hair. I think Hair was the inaugural show of the
Mhm.
public theater. We have obviously a chorus line. Hamilton started at the public. Suff started at the public. In the Heights, I believe, started at the public. And so it's kind of this combination of like a lot of things do have their pre-Broadway runs at the public, but the public also produces so much work that just is an esteemed theater in itself.
Yeah.
So to have a run at the public is incredible. The public theater also owns the Delacorte Theater, which is located in the middle of Central Park. And every summer they do free Shakespeare performances. And something I actually learned this weekend that I didn't know before is that the lobby of the public theater is also home to a public restroom.
Whoa.
That's gold in New York, folks.
It is.
Gold. And currently, I don't know how long they're going to be there, but they have a display. I believe a chorus line turned some big, what was it, 1975? So what is that, 50 years this year?
Yeah.
2025. So they have a huge display of all like the original costumes in the lobby.
Wow.
Yeah. So check out the public. Go see a show at the public.
Oh, yeah,
Have you
yeah,
seen
yeah.
a show at the public?
I've never seen a show at the public.
No.
During my trip to New York for my Navigating New York theater class, we went to the lobby of the public, and
That's that.
that was literally they took us to the public. They were like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go to the public, and then there was a show happening. And also they didn't arrange it with the theater at all. So they were like, is there anyone that can like come out and talk to some students about what this is? And
What?
they were like, no, not really.
They're like, I'm at work. Can you leave me alone?
Literally. And so we sat in the lobby for like 15 minutes and then we left. It was
Wow.
wild.
That's incredible,
Yeah.
honestly. And there's also Joe's Pub at the
Yes.
public, which is a concert venue. So public has a lot of cool things. I saw, what did I see? I saw Stuffs at the public. I saw another musical about Joan of Arc at the public. We've seen the Delacorte together.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I think I saw
Reopening this
something else.
summer.
I remember when I was in college was when Hamilton was at the public.
Gotcha.
And so that was like the thing to do was to go camp out at the public and join the lottery every day.
Heard.
And like one of my friends saw Hamilton at the public when it was like a 5-hour workshop
Wow.
production. And I'm like, that's a flex.
That's crazy.
To say that is a flex.
Yeah.
So yes, that is your little public workshop.
We love it.
That's where a chorus line started. Actually, a chorus line was so expensive the public had to take out a loan to finance it.
Interesting.
And obviously they recouped, and now a chorus line funds quite a bit of the public these days.
I wonder what was so expensive about it, because it is a rather minimalist show.
Yeah, I don't know. The public had to borrow $1.6 million to produce the show.
That's
when it was running.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so it opened at the public in 1975. It was directed by Michael Bennett and co-choreographed by Bennett and Bob Avian. An advanced word created such a demand for tickets that the entire run sold out immediately. And then producer Joseph Papp moved the production to Broadway, where it opened at the Shubert Theater in July 1975 and ran until April of 1990.
Wow.
I believe at the time that it closed, it was the longest running show in Broadway history.
Wow.
It was surpassed by Cats a couple years after that, but it was, it held that title for a minute.
Gotcha.
So cast members of that original cast included, wait for this one, Robert Lapone as Zach. Do you know that name?
I would assume related
Do you know that
to Patty.
name? Patty's brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Runs in the family.
Robert Lapone, Patricia's brother. Bjork Lee as Connie, Donna McKechnie as Cassie, Kelly Bishop as Sheila. Kelly Bishop, who is that, you might ask? None other than Emily Gilmore from Gilmore Girls.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. She won a Tony for playing Sheila. And Priscilla Lopez as Diana Morales. And the original production won 9 Tony Awards and the 1976 Pulitzer Prize for Drama,
Wow.
which is very rare that a musical wins the Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
Do you know how many musicals have won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama?
You've shared this on the podcast before, but I don't remember.
I want to see how...
Is it 5?
How often you listen to our episodes. No, it is 10.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what they are?
So it was Chorus Line. It was... Oh, what was the show that we talked about? Was it Next to Normal?
Yes.
Yep. Hamilton.
Yes.
Fun Home?
No, it should have. No.
Oh, shoots.
But there is another one we talked about.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, Funny Girl.
No.
I don't know. What was it?
Rent.
Duh.
So we have,
Yeah.
in order of the I Sing in 1932, South Pacific in 1950, Fiorello in 1960, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying in 1962, A Chorus Line in 1976, Sunday in the Park with George in 1985, Rent in 1996, Next to Normal in 2010, Hamilton in 2016, and A Strange Loop in 2020.
Wow.
Just a little fun fact for you.
That is a fun fact.
I wonder, this is probably something I could have researched. I wonder, like, what criteria a musical has to hit to be considered for the Pulitzer Prize for drama.
Yeah.
And why it is, I guess, I don't know, like, why is it more rare for a musical to win than a play?
True.
But I guess we do have, like, a book writing issue with musicals where they're sometimes really bad.
Yeah.
Like, even a really good musical doesn't necessarily have a good book. So I guess that's just it's kind of hard to find a really good book in a musical.
For sure.
But a show like Rent that's, like, sung through, I don't know what they consider,
Yeah.
interesting. It's an interesting question. We should ask someone.
Yeah.
If you know the answer, DM us.
Let's call the Pulitzers.
Pulitzer, are you listening?
Joseph or Lily?
Don't do my girl Lily like that.
Lily Pulitzer?
So,
Wow.
Chorus Line is one of those shows everywhere, all the time. Tours.
Yeah.
International productions, regional. It's done everywhere. You're never too far away from a production of a Chorus Line.
This one is for the capital D dancers.
Oh, yes. Dancer, girlies, and guy-ees, and
Mhm.
gay-ees, and they-them-ees.
Movers?
Shakers.
Sorry, but this is not one that you can get away with.
We've only had one Broadway revival, kind of interestingly enough. It opened at the Gerald Schoenfield Theater in October of 2006 and ran until August of 2008. This one was directed by Bob Avian with choreography constructed by Bjork Lee. Bjork Lee is the original Connie Wong in A
Mhm.
Chorus Line, and she has essentially taken over A Chorus Line. Like,
She has.
she was Michael Bennett's right-hand woman, and A Chorus Line is one of those shows with, like, iconic choreography that is
Yeah.
really built into the show and into the score. And so it's one of those shows where if you are buying the rights to A Chorus Line, you're also you can also buy the rights to the choreography.
For sure.
And Bjork Lee kind of has this really interesting role where she basically directs every major production of A
She
Chorus Line.
does.
And she maintains Michael Bennett's original choreography in every, like, huge professional production.
I've seen a Bjork Lee chorus line before.
I worked with Bjork Lee.
No way.
She came and taught us for a full semester in college.
Oh my God.
And I learned the original opening of A Chorus Line from her.
Wow.
And I learned, we do Montage 4, where they're
Featuring.
like, suddenly I'm 17. And she is a, like, firecracker.
Mhm.
First of all, she's like mid to late 80s, maybe even pushing 90. She has this, like, insane, I think it's like a 45-minute to an hour physical workout that you do before you dance.
Mhm.
And she does it. Like, she is this, like, tiny little woman is, like, on the floor doing a million abs while all these 20-year-olds are, like, dying.
Yeah.
And she's like, come on! I mean, I am not a dancer, so I will never get close to being in a room with her again,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
So it was just, like, it was incredible to be in a room with her.
For
get
sure.
to know her for a little bit. So yeah, that is the biarchy of it all. You can't really know a chorus line without knowing about her and kind of the way that she upholds Michael Bennett's legacy.
Yeah.
So this revival featured Charlotte Dembois, Tony Yazbek, Jessica Lee Golden, some of our little more modern contemporary musical theater dancer girlies.
Yep.
And the revival was the subject of the documentary Every Little Step, which kind of takes us through the casting process and the mounting of that revival. Have you seen it?
I have.
I highly recommend. It is really interesting. It kind
Very
of
interesting.
pulls the curtain back on what that process looked like.
Yeah.
Also, just like kind of incredible to watch these people's dreams come true.
Truly.
It's really inspiring and wonderful.
And also, on the flip side, very sad to watch a lot of dreams get crushed.
Yeah, and that montage of like at the ballet girlies.
Oh my God.
I always wonder if, like, I don't know, did they have to sign a waiver to be like, you can make fun, I can be the bad. Like, imagine if you were like auditioning for this Broadway revival and then you're like, oh my God, I auditioned for that, I'll see the documentary, and you're the example of the bad person.
Yeah.
I always wonder how that played out. Like, were they like, hey, do we have your permission to use your bad audition?
No, I don't. I think it was probably just if you want to audition for this, you have to know that you will be
You have to like
subjected
sign the
to.
waiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just fascinating. But I highly recommend that documentary. It's very
Very good.
interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And I believe it wasn't Charlotte Dembois. No, Jessica Lee Golden. There was just like some crazy bait and switch where she was being considered for like the understudy of one part.
Yeah.
And she was like clearly the best one in the room in every callback. And then like out of nowhere, they just gave her the part.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, no, you're like the best one here. You're getting the part. And it was like completely out of the blue for her. Just really an awesome thing to watch. There is also a 1985 film version of A Chorus Line.
Interesting.
Starring Allison Reed. Yes, Mrs. Darbus. And Terrence
Oh my
Mann.
God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And Terrence Mann. And the film kind of bombed. Allison Reed is actually, I know she's Mrs. Darbus to like anyone who's like, I don't know, 25
Yeah.
and younger, or 29 and younger. She was actually a musical theater girl. Like, she's a Sally Bowles. She was in like, I think the national tour of the Broadway Chorus Line. Like, she's done a shit ton of theater.
Yeah.
But she also was in the Chorus Line film, which kind of bombed. And I thought this was the funniest quote. So Kelly Bishop, who played Sheila in the OG cast, she said, "It was appalling when director Richard Attenborough went on a talk show and said, 'This is a story about kids trying to break into show business.' I almost tossed my TV out the window. I mean, what an idiot. It's about veteran dancers looking for one last job before it's too late for them to dance anymore. No wonder the film sucked."
Yeah.
I was like, you tell him, Kelly.
Yeah.
I also highly recommend, Kelly Bishop has a memoir. I think it's called The Third Gilmore Girl.
Whoa.
But I don't like that title because I think most of the book is about her career in theater.
Interesting.
And she really talks in depth about the process of A Chorus Line. She was in those original like sessions. Like, that's her she's one of the girls who sings at the ballet. That is her life story. And she talked about being in that session and like creating the role of Sheila from that day on until winning the Tony Award. Really, really interesting. Like, anyone who's at all interested in theater history,
Yeah.
and very specifically A Chorus Line, I highly recommend reading her memoir.
Kelly, if you're listening to this, open invite to the podcast. Get on over here. I'd love to hear your story firsthand.
Come on the pod, Kelly. Come on the pod.
Absolutely.
I recommend listening to the audiobook because she reads it herself and it's very interesting. And yeah, you know what I realized? I have only ever seen like one crappy community theater production of A Chorus Line.
Okay.
And that A Chorus Line's a tricky one in a community theater setting where it's
Yeah.
like you don't have professional dancers. I feel like kind of a con of living in New York is that we don't really have regional theaters.
Yeah.
It's like Broadway or off Broadway, obviously, but like we were kind of talking about this with the national tour to Broadway pipeline, like with the Mamma Mia of it all.
Yes.
You know, like I don't really have access to a professional production of like A Chorus Line.
Yeah.
Unless there's like a Broadway revival. And I was like,
Or unless you travel. Yeah.
Unless I travel like for at least an hour
For
outside
sure.
the city.
For sure.
Because I was like, why have I never seen a professional production of A Chorus Line? It's done everywhere. But I'm like, okay, but it's not done where I live.
Yeah.
I don't know what point I'm trying to make.
I think you made it.
I'm like, make theater more accessible in New York, as if we don't live in the epicenter of theater.
That's true. I've seen 2 productions of A Chorus Line.
Uh-huh.
One of them was at a non-union theater, Interlakes Theater in New Hampshire. I had a bunch of friends in that, so
I mean, that's a wonderful theater, right? Interlakes?
No.
Am I thinking of Finger Lakes? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I don't know. Interlakes is it is a non-union theater, and it's just it is a lot of people's like first show, and a lot of people do continue to do shows there, but like it is I can't say that they have the best conditions for all of their performers.
That's tricky.
Yes. But I had several friends in a production. I actually had like 6 friends in the same production of A Chorus Line. So I went up to see that, and that was my first introduction to A Chorus Line. And then I saw the Bjork production in Atlanta at City Springs Theater.
Was that the tour or no?
No, that was pre-tour. That was their pre-tour run, essentially. And what it basically... I've told this story on the podcast before, but one time it was the one time I traveled for a regional local audition. We went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, I know this story.
In the airport on the way back, we were with my friend Emma, who is a short little Asian American woman who is a phenomenal performer, a phenomenal dancer, huge fan of Bjork. And Bjork was at the airport at the same time as us. And we were like, Emma, like, you got to go introduce yourself. And she was like, okay. And she did. And they talked for a while. And then Emma is like now her protege. Like, all the time, she is always casting Emma and stuff.
Yeah.
When she directed this production at City Springs, Emma was cast as Connie.
Yeah.
And then once the international tour was announced, she was Connie in the international tour. And then my friend Maggie, shout out Maggie as well. She was the understudy Cassie at City Springs, and she was the international tour Cassie, like full time. So they were both on the international tour of that. But yeah, I saw the essentially what it was pre-tour at City Springs, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I would love to see like a real production of it. They did the opening at the 1975 Tony Awards, and so we have the original cast. I highly recommend watching that performance. It is like one of the most recognizable numbers in musical theater. And to get a professionally filmed, snippet of it is really special.
I wonder if we'll get another revival now that we've hit the 25. Or no, not 25 to 50.
There were rumors that there was going to be a 2025 revival in honor of the 50, but I guess not, since we're like, a couple months into 2025 and no one said a word about it.
Maybe it's going to be a big surprise.
I think it's a tricky show because, and this was kind of the consensus of the revival. I'm not saying it can't be done well, because obviously it can be, and it is done really well a lot. But it is a show that was like so integral and like built upon the original performers.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, especially like when you're doing that material that was like built on the performer, and you're doing the choreography that was built on the performers and the shows of that original production. A lot of reviews of the revival were like, it just feels like they're doing the same show, but without the same heart.
Heard.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it is one of those things where
and I'm like it's tricky. And it's almost like you almost want to be like, yeah, let's do A Chorus Line again, but what if we didn't do the like da 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 da? Like, what if we like reconceived it, re-choreographed it? That sounds so sacrilegious. But I guess it's also the thing with West Side where I'm like, yeah, the original's not going anywhere. So if we're gonna like bring it back to Broadway, like why not do something crazy, and maybe it'll be like terrible.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be like really fun and fresh. Kind of what they do with Cats.
I think it could.
Like
I think it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Kind of what they do like Cats. That's a crazy sentence.
Yeah.
But like Jello Ball is coming to Broadway now.
This feels like something that would not succeed as much, because I do feel like it is always the same. Like it is always set wise. It's just a panel of mirrors backstage.
Yeah.
It is kind of a period piece at this point. People tend to try and mimic the costumes of the original.
It absolutely is. It's
back in the 70s.
The style of the 70s.
Yeah. So I think in order to change it, they would kind of need to change the feel and make it more modern. And I don't think it would have what everybody loves about A Chorus Line. I think the people that love A Chorus Line would hate a modern
Well, isn't that always the risk you take when you reconceive a show?
Yeah, I think new people could enjoy it, but I think the purists of A Chorus Line would not love.
Yeah. I mean, that's totally true.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't do it.
Also valid.
But, you know, I'm just another gay with an opinion.
Hey, no, you're not. You're not just another gay with an opinion.
But I would...
You're the gay with the opinion.
Don't you fucking forget it.
Whoa.
You have something to say? Don't say it in my face. I'll cry. Just write a comment.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments.
Tag him.
Just tag me.
Tag me and I'll proofread before I show him.
Yeah. Another one of those shows, attention dancers, movers. I don't know why you're still listening.
Literally shut this off. No, just kidding.
That's freaking off.
Important to know.
This is one of those shows where if you are auditioning for the show, you need to know the choreography before you go to the audition.
Yes.
It's like this, West Side Story, Gotta Know Cool, Wicked, you have to know Dancing Through Life before you go to the audition. Hamilton, I don't know what you have to know, but you have to know something before you go to that audition.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a dancer, the similar way that like you should be preparing the Bach packet if you're a 5'7" tenor boy.
Yeah.
You need to know the dance before you go to the dance call.
Totally.
It's kind of like at least what I was taught, and I was like, oh, I'll let my dancer friends know. I never need to know that. Yeah, like you got to know the opening at the bare minimum. You need to know like the opening of a chorus line.
For sure.
It's one of those things where it's just like, and I have friends who are dancers who do this. It's like find someone who did the show.
Yeah.
Offer them money. Offer them coffee. Offer them food. Offer them, I don't know, any perk you can think of. And,
oh my God, Daniel.
And have them teach you the combo and know it going in. It's just one of those shows.
I mean, also, if you're in the city, Jessica Lee Golden teaches a lot in the city. And
does she?
She does. She teaches at, I think, Steps a lot. Maybe it's BDC. I don't know. But she does teach quite a bit, and she might do lessons. I don't know if she does private lessons. Don't quote me on it, but you can definitely take a Jessica Lee class.
So you're going to want to email her and say, Brennan Stefanik said, and I quote, she gives classes.
And she'll say, who?
And then say, what a perfect time to come on the pod and find out.
So true. Wow. There we go. Jessica Lee, get on.
Gotti.
Are we putting songs from this in our book?
No.
Yeah, I
No, you're putting dances from this in your book, not songs.
There's nothing too crazy. And I mean, At the Ballet is really the only thing that I could think of as particularly book-worthy.
It's got a great score. Listen to the score.
Yeah. I think a lot of dancers would try to put this material in their book, but I think there's other things that could service you better.
Yeah. Up to you.
Up to you. If there's something that really resonates with you and you can do it better than other people, then go for it. But this one's a little bit trickier too.
Yeah.
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 Cha, dude.
If you're right for the part, look at that Paul monologue. It's pretty sad.
Oh my God, yeah. If you're a Paul, you gotta know that monologue.
It's a crier.
It is a crier. It's beautiful though.
Sob, sob, sob. Weep, weep, weep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should read it again.
We should just watch every little step.
Yeah, but you don't like see the show.
You see the monologue portion of it.
I want to see like the show.
Oh, okay.
There's got to be like I'll find a bootleg somewhere.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's definitely a bootleg.
Definitely a bootleg. I just want to see it live.
Yeah, you should.
Ugh.
Let's find one. Let's find a production
I should go on my like college program Facebook private group where we would like share like things from class or whatever.
Yeah.
And in dance classes, we always would like film the dances so we could go home and practice them.
Of course.
And there's probably so many videos of us doing the chorus. There's probably a lot of videos of a 20-year-old Danny doing the chorus line opening.
Find it. I'll post it on the stories.
Definitely can't post it on the stories because there's a lot of other people that's incriminating for.
I'll censor them.
But it's me with like a bunch of people with like emojis on their heads.
I think we could probably make it happen.
Yeah, not gonna happen. But
Okay.
I'll show you.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you got anything else for a chorus line?
I don't think so. I feel like that's it. That's a chorus line.
Pretty concise.
You know, kiss today goodbye.
Peace out.
What is it? The sweetness of the sorrow?
I don't know.
I'm not a dancer. I never
One
used to do this
singular
show.
sensation. That's all I know.
Boom, da da da.
Skip-a-bow-bow-bow-bow.
Ra-ta-ta-ta.
yeah, everyone go check it out. It is an important show to know, even if you're not a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just an entertaining show.
If you're bad, you could. There's also a whole group of cut dancers.
Oh, yeah. Also,
where you get cut in the first number.
For sure. Usually they're probably understudies or swings in some other regard. But
and probably not just actual bad dancers, but you don't know.
If you have the charisma, maybe there's at least one spot for you in the cut dancer section. They just really love what you bring to a room in general.
That's probably the most fun track in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Cut dancer, you do the opening number. Maybe they come back for one, but probably not.
Yeah, you steal focus a little bit too, you know?
You get to sit backstage with a little snack, a little book,
Absolutely.
and, get paid.
Yep. So go check it out, folks. And you know what? As always, if there's a certain show you want to hear us talk about, you can let us know by finding us over on the Patreon. That is patreon.com/
Patreon.
That's the theme song. That is patreon.com/BA to Broadway. All of our principal tier Patreon members get to choose the shows that we talk about. So come find us over there. And as always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA2Broadway. You can find me at Brennan Stefanik.
You can find me at DSauls.
And until next week, folks.
Bye.
From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.